Wake up and be amazing. Hey, and grab your daily Danish. For those who don't know who I am, I'm Coach Dane Boyle. For my mission is ultimately to educate, motivate, and help you live a healthier, happier, more prosperous life. And at the end of the day, to age with awesomeness. I want to share a story today. A lot of times I get on, we've been kind of programmed to keep it short or do the Twitter version. And somebody told me the other day that Elon Musk overpaid for Twitter. He paid 44 billion. All I had to do is go to Apple, play, and I got it for free. Anyway, but I want to share a story. A little, I don't know if it's unknown. It depends on how well you know me, I guess. So I often, if you've been following, by the way, if you're joining me live, do me a favor and hit hashtag live. Hopefully they'll let me know you're there. Hit hashtag replay. I'd love to connect. I'd love to talk more about your hopes and your dreams and your desires. Speaking of hopes, dreams, and desires, my parents put that into me to dream big, dream out often, and dream out loud. And I don't think they did it on purpose. But I often talk about my dad. I talk about my dad when he was in Strategic Air Command in the Air Force during World War II. That was my granddad. During Vietnam, got out of the military in the early 70s, became a pharmaceutical rep for Merck Sharp and Dome, which their initials were MSD, which my dad used to say was named after his kids, Michelle, my sister, Stephanie, my sister, and then Dane, that's me. Then we have another sister named Courtney, but she's kind of like Bruno. We don't so talk about her. We just don't. I hope she gets to watch this. So dad became a pharmaceutical rep, but apparently his hope and dream was to always be a physician. So, I'm a kid. I'm in early elementary school. I wasn't at the dining room table. I wasn't in the car. They didn't really have the coffee shops the way they do today. Where my parents decided that dad would go to medical school, and mom ultimately, for many, many years, was married, but was a single mom. What's up, Steve? And then dad graduates from medical school. We drive about 1,800 miles from Willingboro, New Jersey, a suburb of Philadelphia, to Texas. And I can still remember stopping in Atlanta. It was when there was a gas shortage in this country. We were sitting in line for seeming like hours. Now, as a little kid, you're just playing, jumping around the back seat. We didn't wear seat belts. My parents talking about, should my dad get an airplane ticket, fly to San Antonio, and have my mom drive the rest of the way? Thank God that didn't happen, because what a shit show it would have been. So dad goes on, right? We go on. Dad always would say, someday, someday, someday. That was always his mantra. He always, always, always wanted a swimming pool. And by the time he had the money, he built that swimming pool for his grandchildren. We had many, many barbecues there. We had many, many family gatherings there. And without my dad even knowing it, he changed my stars. My dad was overweight. Several of his friends were overweight. And one afternoon, literally with a cheap ass paper plate, that you have to have two or three of them, that you should have just bought the better paper plate, because it's going to, all your beans and potato salad and Steve, for you, all your ribs and all this all the meat's going to fall on the ground. Dad had it on his belly. And at that time I was going to school, and I'd put on quite a bit of weight just trying to survive, probably eating breakfast tacos. I live in Texas, driving through Whataburger. That's a big burger joint here. And he said, pat me on the back. He goes, someday this will be you. And I didn't say anything to him, but inside my heart, I was like, hell no. It was just after that, I literally went to the local pound, found a Labrador puppy. We named her Philly, because I'm originally from Philadelphia. I couldn't afford a horse, and she became my running partner. And that motivated me to move more, to get up, get out, and get moving. But the thing that most people don't know is that my dad is not my biological father. My mom would always tell me that my dad married her because he loved me. But not one day, my entire existence on this earth, did I not feel like he was my dad. He will always be my dad. He never once treated me any differently than anybody else. And it just takes a little short time to make a baby, to incubate a baby, versus growing a man or a woman. So you get to choose ultimately who you love. Ultimately, yes, there's all family that's DNA, and there's family that you choose. So thank my lucky stars. I look up to the heavens literally to that every single day. So being obese, like I mentioned earlier about my dad, ultimately killed my father. Complications from being overweight. But either way, I look up to my dad every day. I want to make him proud every day. And over my right shoulder is a picture right there. It looks like a ballerina pose. But if I zoomed in, you would see it's muscle and bones only, split in half. That used to sit in my dad's office for years, and I always admired it. And there was a time as my parents were getting older, they re-gifted things all the time. Things that I love, that my sisters love, even my baby sister that I said we don't talk about, Bruno, Courtney too. So there are four of us. I'm the oldest of four, but dad chose on that day or whatever day he met my mom, then met me, then they took their hand, then they went to the courthouse, and they really did have two marriages. The courthouse, because apparently it was a little frowned upon for this Catholic man to marry this Jewish woman who had a son by lots of my dad's family. But over the years, I never felt any different than anybody else. And I guarantee my sisters would tell you that I was spoiled because I was the only grandson for many, many years. And she was old school. So when you'd set the table, you did the dishes, you cooked, my sisters were in there, and I was out playing. And as a little kid, I would be like making faces. But either way, so a little story about me, who I am, hopefully the character that I become, but the character I have. So choose who you love today, and whoever that is, be sure to tell them you love them and never assume they know. I would love to know a little story about you, whatever it is, something that most people don't know unless they really know you. Go be amazing and shine your light into the world today.